Russian President Vladimir Putin has ordered his defense minister to help would-be foreign fighters move to the combat zone in Ukraine and side with Moscow. Key points: Putin approved the handing over of captured Western missile systems. Putin approved the handing over of captured Western missile systems. Russia's defense minister says there are 16,000 volunteers in the Middle East ready to volunteer. Russia's defense minister says there are 16,000 volunteers in the Middle East ready to volunteer. Russian strikes have hit near airports in western Ukraine. Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu said Russia knew of more than 16,000 applications from would-be fighters for Moscow in the Middle East. He said many of the applications were from people who helped Russia against the Islamic State group, according to a Kremlin transcript. They want to take part in what they consider a liberation movement, Mr. Shoigu said, on the side of Russia-backed separatist regions in eastern Ukraine. Since 2015, Russian forces have backed Syrian President Bashar al-Assad against various groups opposed to his rule, including Islamic State. Mr. Putin told Mr. Shoigu that Russia should help would-be volunteers to move to the combat zone and contrasted them with what he called foreign mercenaries fighting for Ukraine. Russian President Vladimir Putin attended a meeting with government members via a video link in Moscow. He also approved the handing over of captured Western missile systems to Russian-backed rebel fighters to use against Ukraine. It came after Mr. Shoigu proposed handing over American-made anti-tank systems, such as Javelin and Stinger, to fighters from the rebel regions of Luhansk and Donetsk. Russian strikes hit western Ukraine as offensive widens. Russian strikes have hit near airports in western Ukraine as the military offensive widened. Meanwhile, invading troops kept up pressure on the capital Kiev and the besieged port city of Mariupol. M to mute, left and right arrows to seek, up and down arrows for volume. Watch 52 seconds. 52s drone footage shows a Ukrainian ambush on a Russian tank column. The airstrikes on the Luts military airfield, about 100 kilometers from the Polish border, left 2 Ukrainian servicemen and 6 people wounded, according to the leader of the Volyn region, Yury. The strikes also targeted an airport near Ivano-Frankivsk, about 130 kilometers south of Lviv. Residents were ordered to shelters after an air raid alert, Mayor Ruslan Martsinkov said. International efforts to isolate and sanction Russia continue, particularly after a live air strike on a maternity hospital in the port city of Mariupol that Western and Ukrainian officials have called a war crime. Ukrainian authorities announced plans for several evacuation and humanitarian aid delivery routes with the support of the Red Cross. Their top priority is to free people struggling to flee Mariupol. Unbowed by the sanctions, Russia kept up its armament of the besieged southern seaport of Mariupol, while Kiev braced for an onslaught, its mayor boasting that the capital had become practically a fortress protected by armed civilians. 3 Russian airstrikes also hit the eastern industrial city of Dnipro on early Friday, killing at least 1 person, according to Interior Ministry advisor Anton Heroskenko. Meanwhile, Russian forces were pushing toward Kiev from the northwest and east, but were repulsed from Chernihiv as Ukrainian fighters regained control of Baklanova Muravica, the General Staff of Ukraine's armed forces said in a statement. M to mute, left and right arrows to seek, up and down arrows for volume. Watch 9 minutes 6 seconds. 9m An English teacher turned soldier speaks from the front line in Kiev. AP